Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit that notification bell, go to the updates. Really excited for today's video. Beer's courtesy of John. Thanks so much, John. I really appreciate it. And it's Cellar Saturday. I'm cheating a little bit. I think if it's my channel, I'm allowed to cheat a little bit. I'm supposed to do something off of my shelves, but he sent me a 2018 beer. It sounds delicious. I think I'm totally in the mood for what this is. There's a lot going on in it. So I figure, you know what? I'm going to do it. So it's Revolution, but it's actually a collaboration between Revolution and Sun King. It's called Code Switch. They're calling it an Imperial Ale. I'm wondering if it's kind of like a quad. I'm super curious because it's got a lot of decent number of adjuncts, and it's making me think, Belgian-y. But anyway, and they say aged on blackberries. And it's, like I said, it's from 2018. It's from early October, so it's like 2 years and about 2 months old at time of review. It's 14 point something, where is it? 14.5% ABV. And here's what the side of the can says. Built on a dual algorithm written alongside our friends from Sun King Brewery, this new complex imperial ale was brewed with maple sugar, which I love, dark candy syrup, and that's what's making me think maybe like a quad. And a blend of Belgian yeast cultures, plural. An early switch from Tennessee whiskey to Kentucky bourbon barrels ensured the integrity of the code, with the addition of unfermented blackberries for balancing sweetness and subtle tartness. Enjoy now or store cold. It's got a lot going on. I could see it working though, but the more you throw into a beer, it increases the chances you might get a mess of a beer. I'm hoping between the fact that I think these adjuncts will work well and that age can kind of round flavors, that this is going to drink quite nicely, but only one way to find out. So it pours it's like brown with some blue in it, and I guess that makes perfect... I guess that makes perfect sense if I'm going along with my quad theory, but then it's got the blackberries in it. Yeah, I mean, it's very brown with some blue. I mean, notice that head. I mean, there's nothing left. Given the ABV, given the number of adjuncts, the age, I suppose, I guess I'm not surprised that there's no head. Let's get to the aroma. A little medicinal. It actually, I think, smells more like blueberries than blackberries, which is kind of interesting. That's probably just a me issue, not a anything else issue. I smell the spirits, maybe a trace amount of alcohol specifically, but like you can tell it's that whiskey or bourbon thing. But like if I was doing this blind, it's like, it's kind of obviously got something. There's a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel. There's a nice level of sweetness. It doesn't smell like there's cinnamon, but you could see how, like, with what is there, some cinnamon or even like maybe a little bit of clove or something would be really nice. I like this aroma. I don't know, it smells good. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. I'm like a little like, what is this beer going to taste like? So I'm a little, I'm sure I'm coming across on camera a little like nervous and excited. Some nervous energy maybe. Cheers. That mostly works for me. Okay. That's like I was saying before, I could see this stuff working beautifully, and I could see, that many things going on where this could be a mess of a beer. This is like 90% there, so it's not perfectly there for me, but it's really darn close. And I think that's important. And I'm not trying to undersell the beer, but I'm also trying not to oversell it. I'm just being, really honest. That blackberry as a jammy note, lovely, awesome. You get that sweetness and I like that they said that like some of that blackberry is probably going to help add a little bit of tartness or something. Because I get that. And that's what I mean with a jammy. You get, because with nice jam, right? You get the sugar in it, but there is a tartness that's combating with the sugar. So I totally agree with that, and that is what that's doing in this beer. But it is relatively sweet beer. It's not straight quad like I was thinking and kind of hoping, but like you do get a little bit of that quad that uses that candy syrup in it, the candy sugar. You do get a kiss of the maple. It's not super mapley, but you do get a kiss of that, which I love, and I wanted that, so like that makes me really happy. There's a little bit of warmth for sure. Excuse me. That medicinal thing, and again, it's mostly blackberry, so unlike the aroma where I was thinking blueberry, there's a little, it's probably the tartness that's making me think cherry, now that I actually think about it, but you kind of get this like little bit of a cherry thing, almost like if cherries were, had sat in some alcohol, not, and I'm going to say moonshine, it's not that alcoholic in taste, but like, kind of reminds me of a cherry moonshine that actually has cherries like floating at the bottom of it. Like if you were to eat those cherries and you get like that intensity of the cherry, but again, not quite that intensity of liquor, or alcohol, but like there's whispers of it still. So it's, kind of invoking that, but on a much lighter scale. Yeah, it's weird to describe other than that like percentage I gave. It's just not like fully clicking like this is completely cohesive as a drinking experience, as a flavor profile experience. But it is darn close. It's just not quite. It's just not quite there. Except for that cherry thing too. It's and not that this is a bad thing. This is an interesting debate I've had with many beer drinkers. It's basically what the can says it's supposed to be. I don't see how that's a negative, but it also doesn't allow for additional complexity because it's the adjuncts that are making up this beer. That's what you're getting. A little bit of that cherry tartness thing, sure. So I don't think that's a negative, and I also don't think sometimes if like an adjunct doesn't come across, but it's still delicious, like I don't think that's a negative, or other scenarios that I don't need to list. But for me, it's not a negative. But yeah, it doesn't add any other. It is a relatively complex beer, but it's from the adjuncts, not probably the base beer itself specifically. And you know what else? This is fun. Like this is definitely one of the cool things between Saturday and then testing my palate on Tuesdays. Is sometimes like to describe these things is a little different, a little harder, more interesting, kind of, gets the gears turning a little bit more. And this was definitely that experience as well. So again, John, I really appreciate it, man. This is awesome. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that. Check me out on Instagram on Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews, both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.